Okay, got it.
All right, Crossroads Sports. Jonathan Birdsong, Brennan Reef. After a crazy Big Ten championship game last night, to the college football playoff brackets being released earlier this afternoon. JB, how are you in those last 24 hours since I've seen you?
Man, been doing a whole lot of power naps this Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, man. Letting out of the Big Ten championship game. It was a late nighter for good old JB. And like, yeah, a lot of power naps, man. A lot of also, you know what I'm saying, just kind of sharing some of the information kind of already. I know we're not necessarily supposed to do that, so we probably supposed to kind of keep some of the stuff for the show, but people kind of want to know kind of what you saw as far as like the victory is concerned, as far as Indiana, defeating Ohio. It's a story. That's a big time thing. You know what I'm saying? Them beating outright in the Big Ten championship. So like no man, and then kind of going back and rewatching also, some of the basketball that was kind of swept. I won't say swept on the rug because we will talk about it too if you want to, but like that, just kind of spending my day doing some of that, man. Sunday, trying to take it easy, man. But we've seen a lot of things, a lot of lights, a lot of sights. Chopped it up with some newfound friends yesterday, and we learned a lot about DePaul and Wabash. The football game, or whatnot. But
Yep.
like, no, man, it was a real great to be. Not even good. It was great to be in the atmosphere of the Big Ten championship game, man. Like in the press box, whether you like, whether you like some of the, names, or don't. Folks that we are contemporaries, for lack of better words, man. Radio, TV personalities. Don Fisher. Other world, the other
At
homie
40.
that, Pat, yeah, the other head, Pat 40, Calhoun, who I don't know, might be a friend or foe of the show. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know yet.
Oh,
But like, no, man. But like, no, man, where you want? I know I know. Folks probably kind of expect us to kind of talk about the Big Ten championship game first, man. So if you want to tap into that, we sure can, man. But Coast Nation,
yeah.
we're gonna give you a hug too this afternoon.
Yeah, let's talk. We can talk Big Ten real quick. IU wins 13-10, wins their first natty. By the time I got out of there, John, it was 2:10 a.m. By the time I got out of the city, going down to the field afterwards. But no, IU coming back in the second half, finding a way to win. Uh, Huge. Here's my thing. I am ecstatic for IU. Congrats to them. I know being a Purdue guy on the opposite side, you're usually supposed to hate older brother. Yeah, but tip my hat to Signetti. Tip my hat to the Hoosiers. They went out there this season. They had a perfect season. Their quarterback is great. They played I'm not going to see a great game. They played a good game, right? They, as Signetti was kind of talking to this press conference just about the game plan they had come in and the conversation they had at halftime of some of the changes they need to make. But my biggest thing is I, IU won it, but Ohio State went out and really lost it because they could have won. They really should have won this game. They really should have. I look at two things. Number one, the knee was down on the fourth down attempt
Yep,
that they called it, overruled it like on the 2 yard line. They gave the ball back to Indiana.
that was huge.
Could have kicked a field goal there. Could have had the tie game, right? Could
Hmm.
have been a tie game right there. And then the drive down where you had the missed field goal, could have won the game right there, right? And not have you had a shot or anything. Also the third down call, you threw that fade route to the corner of the end zone. Probably not. I mean, you're bigger than IU. You probably didn't need to run that play for it. You
Right.
could have gotten something easier. Running the ball with Bo Jackson. I feel like Ryan Day just found different ways to lose the game like he's done in the past against Michigan last year and some of these other games that he just pisses down his leg, right?
Well,
I
no,
mean, I know
right, and knowing that your job is not on the line if you lose this game, and
yeah.
your seating is not necessarily on the line if you lose this game, I can kind of vibe with what you're saying. I also will say IU was up for the challenge
Yep.
from a scheme standpoint. When you look at some of the receivers that Ohio State has, man, they still a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, a little bit faster, and those things kind of played out yesterday. But like IU just played a great defensive game. They put a whole lot of pressure on saying, and he did not look like I kept on keeping the sack rate from the first half to the second half. I was like, it kept on going up, man. And I was like, you keep on putting that many licks, even in a close game. You know what I'm saying? On a team like Ohio State, man, that those things kind of build up. I was concerned a little bit about special teams in Indiana. You know what I'm saying? A missed field goal can kind of cause ghosts, as they
Yeah.
had in front a missed field goal. You know what I'm saying? You cannot Indiana going further if you're playing Ohio State, Georgia, or whomever, like lead points against a, you know what I'm saying. Ohio State is great in the red zone defense. Georgia, I would say, is also great in their red zone defense. I would also say Texas Tech is pretty darn good in their red zone defense as well, man. So against if
Mhm.
IU still wants to continue to navigate as we talk playoffs, like you know what I'm saying, being effective and being efficient in the red zone defense is going to be tended
Oh,
for them to. Brandon Reese
sorry,
is
Jordan
awesome
Love just threw a pick.
already. Oh man, but like nah, man. That is it was like I said, great
Even
game
losing the
for
game,
me.
you're just a 2 seed. So,
But right. But like no man, you had also had a great rushing plan attack. The ball
yep.
carriers between Hamby and Black. That kind of gave them clock possession as
And
well.
Omar
If you do
Cooper went out quick early in the game, went out early. So we didn't really I didn't really recognize it till halfway through.
yeah. So great management game. A lot of folks still kind of critical of Mendoza and say, man, is that the Heisman potential? In a game like this, yes, that like when if the
Yes.
quarterback comes out victorious, he's a Heisman candidate, if not the Heisman winner.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind
And
of how I
Johnny
see.
Manziel had some sour grapes on his tweet saying, "Oh, I didn't know a fade route can win you a Heisman."
Well,
That's what it is nowadays.
well,
So,
as long as you ain't snorting your Wheaties, man, before you do said
oh,
fade route.
exactly.
Sorry,
Uh,
Johnny.
so the brackets came out, John. I guess, I mean, I'll bring it up on the screen here.
Bring it up. I'm gonna save the explosion for later.
Yeah, please save it for later. So bracket is up.
Let's get going.
Number one seed Indiana, obviously the Hoosiers, number one seed overall, going to be playing in the Rose Bowl game on January 1st in the quarterfinals. Two seed Ohio State, they only fell one spot, losing to the Hoosiers. Georgia is the 3 for the Sugar Bowl, and Texas Tech for the 4. I am really shocked that Ohio State only fell one, but Georgia beats a ninth ranked team and still just stays the same. I was really shocked that they stayed pat there and didn't really move. Texas
Mhm.
Tech, I think we all knew they were going to be locked in basically at the 4 seeds there. So top 4 seeds, I don't have a problem with. I just thought Georgia would have flip flopped with Ohio State personally.
I'm not shocked, Brandon, because of the politics, man, of how Alabama got in. I know we ain't even got to Alabama just yet. I'm not shocked, man. You don't move down Georgia, so it doesn't proceed to look like when you do this huge favor for Alabama. Brandon, let's unveil the rest of the list, but we can. But like, man, Alabama being
Yeah.
in this playoffs is kind of ridiculous. To be honest with you, man. A three-loss Alabama team that made I get it. They made it. They had an extra game. They made the conference championship, but they did not look like a conference championship game. It's a team that's ready to, what I'm saying, navigate through the playoffs. They
It,
didn't.
it, it looked like right. I agree in that championship game, but I also feel like now the committee looked at it and said, "Hey, we're not gonna not gonna fault you for losing in a extra game for a conference championship, even though 5 years ago it happened to Georgia and they fell all the way to number 6."
I okay, well, Brandon, the you know what I'm saying, the pushback for me is, do you think what you saw all year versus in Alabama, what you saw yesterday, could be a Big 12 team that's named BYU? I don't. I think BYU should be like, hey man, hold on. If this is gonna be the best teams in, regardless of daggone record. Well, what about us? I think also if you Sark, you should be losing your mind. Well, wait a minute. If it ain't about record, you know what I'm saying? It's about we playing in the power conference. Well, what about us? We beat
Well,
number
they
two.
were
We
number
beat.
13.
But hold on, Brandon. They also beat Texas A&M on a good day,
Okay. Yeah,
right? So I'm just
they did.
saying. Oh, wait a minute. They also played Ohio State. Went up north and played Ohio State. So I get it as a loss, and you know what I'm saying, these teams get credit for losses for they do. These power teams do for crossing that line or whatever,
Hmm.
man. But a 3-loss Alabama team did not deserve to be. A lot of these other teams who are
I
floating
think
2 losses should be like beating their heads
I think
like what's
Alabama
going on.
deserved to get over BYU. I will go against you on that. I don't think BYU deserved at all to get into it. Um,
Just because they got
Faltering at the end,
they two
2
losses against
losses.
Texas. They 2 losses against Texas Tech. Other than that, they
And they're
switched.
not close losses either, John. They were blowouts, both of them.
Other other than that, Alabama lost to FSU, Brandon.
That's the beginning of the year.
No, no, it's a loss. A loss. A loss is a loss. Alabama lost to BYU. Wait a minute. Alabama lost, and I told you 4 losses for them for the year.
No,
Anyway, man, we're gonna save
they're
these
gonna have
folks.
their fourth here coming up if they
Oh,
don't win the
oh.
Natty
Well, Oklahoma. They gotta play Oklahoma if we go back
again,
down to
which
the
I don't
Big.
like that. Here's what I would have done. I would have swapped out. Um, if I was them, I would have swapped out Miami and Alabama. So you had Oklahoma at the 8, Miami as the 9, and Alabama as the 10. That way you don't have a rematch of Bama and Oklahoma.
At
But
least not in the first
obviously,
round, right?
the SEC guy wanted to have not Bama and A&M in the first round. You get 2 your SEC teams, and one of them
You
gets
protect
knocked out there.
you
So,
protecting your team. That's what we're doing
yeah,
now.
but then also you got JMU and Tulane in there. I'm still a component of your 12 best teams, and you throw out this shit of the best non G5 team, and you throw out this other highest conference championship. You just take the top 12
Then
teams that are
then
ranked in
Brandon,
the
then Brandon, you
rankings and
gonna have
put
to
them
say
in.
then you have to apologize to me when I did when about my BYU. BYU still, like I said, BYU technically some of these other Big
I
12
would
teams.
because Texas was 13. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Texas, they better. I mean, they would zip tie Tulane. No disrespect to Tulane and their coach who got a new job or whatever. He's probably gonna do some successful things as he moves on. But like, no, man, BYU and Alabama, excuse me, and
So
like anybody, Notre Dame. Don't
let's talk
don't
about
get
the
it twisted.
politicking. Let's talk about the politicking with Notre Dame because here's where my beef is. You have Notre Dame ahead of Miami all season pretty much, right? And Miami towards the end of the season, Notre Dame's up what 2-3 spots, and then as of last week, it got to within 1 spot, so the committee could do exactly what the heck they did. But both teams don't play, and then they flip Miami in for Notre Dame, which I think is a load of crock. I thought when the chairman was talking about his reasons why, uh, I thought that was a load of shit, and he kind of was talking
Who?
in reverse course because he said, "Well, we looked at this; they were close in all 4 parameters that we look at." And he broke them all down at a FCS score, all this other stuff, and then he goes, and then our last parameter we look at is head to head, the very last one. And we said, oh, well, they're 1 rank between each other. So now let's go back all the way to head to week 1. Well, newsflash, if you watch Notre Dame football, week 1 against Miami, they had no identity. They had no idea who they were. The team if you put them back on the field now, Notre Dame would stomp Miami, because they have an identity now. They knew who they were. I understand you play the games, you lost. It is what it is. But I thought they deserved to get in, man. I would have put even Notre Dame in over Alabama.
Of course, as I've been kind of, beating the drum for Notre Dame, of course, and they're leading this, because they didn't make the playoff. They didn't pull their name out of any type of
Yeah,
record of
take my
any
ball, go
other
home.
program.
So Notre
And
Dame
that's
is
what
not even in a bowl game. They withdrew. So did who did we say, John? Who else did that today? Where the hell is it? Iowa State and Kansas
Kansas
State.
State.
Now,
Mhm.
since they're in a conference, the Big 12 says, well, you're supposed to be going, you're not, so we're going to fine you $500,000
Well,
to each of these
well,
universities.
one, hey man, shout out to the Big 12 for doing so, man, because one, these bowl games they do. they force these coaches and programs to help keep the conference together. You know what I'm saying? If we being totally transparent, nobody clearly on this playoff list, they don't respect the Big 12 or the power of their games. But heck, all the teams play Big 12 teams at some during the season, man. So
But do you know?
you know
Do
what
you
I'm
know why
saying?
they do it, John? Okay, and somebody had a tweet up. I'll bring it up.
Mhm.
Uh, they were talking about, well, why this team don't expect bids, and they're gonna go off AP scores, and then they're gonna, next person, and then they say, oh well, shit, I'll sit up for 500K. Okay, well, here's the problem. It's new, but this is gonna be your new future with college football because if you can see it right here, um, she says, I don't really think people realize several of these teams are not accepting bowl invites because of factors. A, they don't have a head coach plus staff. B, the transfer portal opens soon, so they're looked to leave when they get hurt in a meaningless game, so they don't get hurt when they're trying to leave. And then the new incoming coaches can't coach bowl games, probably want to get started on 2026. It sucks, but this is the new college football. Get used to it.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay. You,
that
you can't tell the money. You can't tell the money that the Insight Bowl or whatever Intuit Bowl that's gonna throw at you to get used to it when you got dead programming and you have TV contracts. So, lady, you better get your act together. You better figure out who you play for and what team you side on. I get it. I get it. There's some levity and truth in what she's saying, but there's
uh-huh.
also needs to be a fix. And we kind of said there needs to be a czar or whatever committee. You would have thought that these athletic directors and these people that kind of the championship committee would have been the people kind of doing this kind of behind the scenes, at least behind the scenes, to kind of repair some of this so that we don't have none of this back and forth of like my team didn't make it, man,
Right.
or whatever. Based on that team's particular resume, Notre
Yep.
Dame resume, you could like from a fan standpoint, of course, people are gonna say they play a cupcake role, but if you look at if you point to every one of those teams that they play, I get it. So technically, they lost to two playoff teams, but then they go on this. They go on. Notre Dame. I'm preaching Notre Dame's case. They're going on a immaculate run and basically sweep everybody else, the ACC included.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, and if still were power teams, so like spilt milk or whatever, they said no, they're not going. Kansas State and Iowa State, y'all don't have the arrogance. You need to whoever is. If you got players, if you got
Well,
coaches
I can
moving,
understand
man,
Iowa State not going. They lost their head coach, right?
get your shit. Sorry, you should have got your shit together. Sorry, man. Get your shit together, man. Otherwise, everybody is
Hmm.
gonna be playing somewhere else anyway. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Get your act together. How are you gonna build? How are you gonna get money if you out of a quote unquote non that you said non important, not you, but there's a quote unquote non important game. These
Yeah.
players want to like what the homie when the homie Willie Snead came on here said you want to get as much great tape on there so you can get to the next level. So if everybody's getting paid now, right? And we already know what comes with the extra. I get it, they can get hurt. I understand that part.
Hmm.
But like, if you're trying to get even more grades, hey, who? All right, man, Brandon. Ain't nobody beating down the doors for anybody that's on Iowa State. Like, on from a draft standpoint, and we can go deep on that too. Ain't nobody but them. Like everybody forgot about the game they played in Ireland, right? So like, man, the arrogance of that the athletic director, like the athletic director, gonna have to step up his ass. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. And they gonna start have to, being more than just athletic director sitting behind the daggone,
Hmm.
desk or whatever. Purdue athletic director Brandon Reef is hollering at you. Get that football program in order. But like, nah, man, you're gonna have to. That's what's gonna have to happen, man. There's no way that they're gonna let all that kind of just go away. These inconsequential ball games. They might change different names or whatever. But
Yeah.
again, Brandon, I think there's gonna be some type of
Okay.
government where they kind of come together, and then
Yeah. We got about 6 minutes left or so. I want to go through real quick, John. Seedings, uh, Oregon 5 against JMU at 12. Winner gets Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. So Oregon will host in Eugene.
okay.
Oklahoma Alabama rematch that Oklahoma won previously. Winner will go to the Rose Bowl. You could get an Alabama Indiana or even Oklahoma Indiana. You're going to have a lot of red and white in the building once again there in Pasadena. So looking forward to that game there.
We were being
I really
robbed.
think Georgia lucked out, John. Really, you got a winner at Ole Miss and Tulane, two programs right now. Ole Miss, they just got the new head coach, and players are sitting out or transferring or not sure what to do. They're feeling sad for themselves still. Sorry excuses. And then you got Tulane in there. That's a 17.5 point spread as the spread came out this afternoon. already Ole Miss minus 17.5. And then Georgia's just, boom, you get that one. You're already going to the Fiesta-Bowl, the semis. So I think
Right.
Georgia lucked out with that position. I think the hard route here you look is Miami and A&M. I think that's going to be a great game down in College Station. The 12th man there at Kyle Field. That's going to be huge. And then who do you get? Guess what? You get the Buckeyes. Coming, you go in the Cotton Bowl down in Texas. The Buckeyes to follow that. So A&M, if they win, John, they could play Ohio State, and that could be a semi-like home game down there in Dallas, Texas, for
Yeah.
A&M and Ohio State. Overall wise, I think Indiana lucks out a little bit because you got them up here. They would just have to get past a Texas Tech, really, or an Oregon again to get to the championship. Here, you got powerhouses: Georgia, Ohio State. There, one of those two is going to be knocked out. IU would not have to worry about seeing at least one of those two teams. So I felt like there, the Hoosiers got the great draw there with that being set. And then you got the national championship there in January as well.
The Hoosiers should feel good about they planning preparation and how they can navigate and get to these, national championships. They should feel real good about their team.
I kind of did my bracket already.
Are you all in?
I'm smart.
That's not okay. Are you all in?
Here we go. Bracket will be out. Here it is. Just off the whim. I've got Oregon against Indiana in the semis. I got Georgia versus Ohio State in the other semi. Then I got a rematch of IU and Ohio State. And as I said earlier in the Big Ten, Ohio State, I don't think they're going to have the same errors that they made against Indiana last night, that they have a chance to win. They're going to sew those up. I feel like Indiana played a good game. Ohio State played a sloppy game and still almost won, right? I think you're going to see more X factor with those wide receivers, Jeremiah Smith and Tate. I think Ohio State repeats in a rematch against the Hoosiers for the national championship, unfortunately. But I got IU going there again. I think Ohio State plays a little less sloppy than they played last night with those the fourth down issue and then the missed field goal, and then really just Indiana's defense. I know a lot of people were surprised by Indiana's defense, and it should be no shock IU's defense, how well they played. But I am looking forward to an IU-Alabama possible matchup in that second round. I just wish it was at Bloomington, so the Crimson Tide would have to come up here to Memorial Field in the middle of December. I think that would have been great. And then I'm looking forward to this Georgia-Ohio State matchup we almost damn near have every year in the playoff, it seems like now. So looking forward to that. But I got the Buckeyes winning there, John, for me.
I got you.
So
I like your Final Four there, man. I'm not gonna shade it too hard, man.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't go chalk. Texas Tech, I mean, you could trust them, but I just think Oregon's been sitting back, relaxing, getting ready. I think they're going to make a run.
They might have some offensive issues out there in Texas Tech.
We're going to have our college football show tonight at 7. I think DCOT's across our Game Time network's going to run the show, but we'll have it shared to our streams as well at 7 o'clock tonight. Yeah, we'll talk all this mess in the weekend's games. I know John's going to be a little more animated for that show tonight at 7. We'll go from 7 to 8. And then our show will be this Wednesday night at normal time, 7:30. We'll recap everything. But, John, I guess before we go real quick, I mean, it's a breaking news in our central region, but in our region here, but Daniel Jones, Achilles, Colts, it's unraveling quickly.
That mean, fuck them picks come at you real fast. You know what I'm saying? They didn't trade it for Sauce Gardner.
Yep.
And, now we got too many guys out. Daniel quarterback out. I mean, it was just comedy of errors today, man. You know what I'm saying? However many chances you can score in a game.
And now you lost first place.
Yeah, you lost first place, and now you're reeling. And, a division champ is coming into your backyard. And, you got, dude, it ain't really funny, man. Like now, where's Anthony Richardson at? Like, Like,
Right.
How's the eye, bud? You doing all right? Can you come on in?
Do you see 3 guys or 2?
Right. But like, nah, man. I know we got to wrap up because I know we got stuff to talk about. There's some other things to talk about. I don't want to let anybody know that the basketball world You know what I'm saying? Purdue, Iron Unkind yesterday.
Stop
They
it.
did some very Purdue things yesterday. That Iowa State team's kind of put Purdue on notice yesterday, man. If you can go in Purdue and the team only had like 10 fouls, so they D'd up Purdue pretty hard yesterday. They did without fouling, man. So that's kind of something I kind of take away from that. Butler
They'll clean it up.
yesterday. He said, "Don't bring it up."
No, I
Playing
said
down
they'll
to the
clean
top.
it up.
Oh, they'll clean it up, but Butler will too. But like losing these, you know, what I'm saying, a team like Butler cannot. They don't necessarily have the equity, especially when it kind of comes to committee time. Losing a game like that against Boise at home. Boise kind of plays up and down to their level of competition. But Boise lost to a Division III team already this year. You know, and some of their play, man. But like some of the area teams will bounce back for sure. I'm expecting them. IU. Bad tape out there, them in Louisville, Brandon. Sorry, man. I'm about to call Double D tomorrow, asking why they can't get Cooper Flags of the world to go more come to IU, man. Why they gotta keep on getting mid-major short kings? I mean, that it'll work out for you in the short, man. But like now, you didn't have to play Minnesota, and Minnesota must got Kevin McHale up there, man, because they down there rushed on the floor when they beat IU the other night, man. And like now. The good part is in a couple of weeks you got Kentucky and they kind of going through their own sister act too. They don't know who they really are. You know what I'm saying? But you know, tough times in Bloomington, man. Now the rubber meets the road, man. Now everything ain't so easy. But like, man, you know, we'll talk about it a little bit later on this weekend, this week rather. So now, man,
sounds good. I told you.
Wrap us up.
Tigers.
Hey,
Tigers.
We all in. We all in. We all in. What are you talking about? We all.
We'll see you guys tonight at 7:00 on the Game Time, Cross Time podcast show. We'll stream it. Regular show on Wednesday night, 7:30. Conversation on Twitter, on Facebook. We'll see you guys then. Take care. Have a good night.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for listening to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show. You can find more episodes on iTunes and the Google Play Store. Be sure to like and subscribe for more Crossroads sports content.